You're watching A-Star TV. Its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the hosts of this talk show or their guests.
With Willie Powells. With Willie Powells. With Willie Powells. With Willie Powells. With Willie Powells.
Welcome to All About the Law. And here's your host, Willie Powells.
Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Attorney Willie Powells. Well, folks, the countdown clock is ticking. 5 days until election. Harris County voter turnout has shattered the record books. And later in this show, Harris County Clerk Chris Hollins is joining us. This young man has shown up and shown out since being appointed in June after his predecessor resigned for health reasons. We'll get the latest on the voting across Harris County. But first, I want to talk about something that continues to shock me, and that is the number of people who die without a will. The most recent is actor Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. Boseman suffered from cancer for 4 years and died recently without a will. He joins Aretha Franklin and Prince. It's really crazy because Aretha and Chadwick Boseman were sick for years, and they knew they were sick. And they have handlers and people around them. Yet, apparently, they never took care of having their estates and wills planned for. It's not just celebrities, but everyday folks are dying without a will. And particularly in the midst of COVID-19. You know, although COVID-19 has prompted a lot of people to get a will, recent studies say that still 62% of families do not have one. You know, I bet a lot of families are finding their loved ones did not leave any instructions on how to move forward after their deaths. I want to talk a little bit about this subject. There seems to still be stigma surrounding wills, especially for Black folks. Here are some of the reasons you need a will. And you certainly want to do that if you're sick or you have young children. Let's start with reason number one. It's to appoint a guardian for your children. You know, no one knows their children better than a parent. And if you pass away without a last will and testament, the state will decide who should care for them. In your will, you can choose a guardian for your children and make sure they're looked after by someone you love and trust. A very important reason. How about reason number two? To protect your business. Houston is full of prominent business owners. And did you know that if you die without a will and you own a business, your family could lose what you worked so hard for to build? Making a last will and testament and using living trust is a good way to pass your company to your heirs or the co-owners of your business. Did you know 70% of family-owned businesses do not last past the first generation? And the main reason for this is lack of estate planning. So that's another very good reason. But how about reason number three? To decide who receives your asset. Or in my case, a bunch of cool Corvettes. Or your savings. You should decide who receives your belongings after you die, not generic state rules. These rules might not meet your wishes and never includes provisions for those not related to you, like close friends or mentors. And just like a will dictates who gets what, it also can state who can't get what. You can disinherit individuals who would otherwise stand to inherit. Yes, you may wish to disinherit individuals who may otherwise inherit your estate if you die without a will. Absent a will, your estate might end up in the wrong hands or in the hands of someone you did not intend, such as an ex-spouse with whom you had a very bitter divorce. Can I get a big Texas hell no? All right. Make sure your loved ones get the assets you want. And then that way you can do that, you can do that through your will. Okay? How about, let's talk about reason number 4. To provide for your favorite charity. In your will, you can include a charity. It's a great way to give back and make sure your assets are used for a good cause. And finally, number 5, and probably the most important one, a will just makes a difficult time less difficult. You know, losing someone in your family usually is very, 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 very hard. At least I hope so. But seriously, the last thing any of us want to do is spend those hard times haggling with lawyers and family members, and anything else that may pop up at the last minute. Making a will keeps your loved ones from having to deal with bureaucracy in a time of sadness. That's my take on wills. And if you need any more advice, or you need help with getting one done, give me a call at the law office, 281-881-2457, and we can help you get that set up. Stick with us. Up next, he is a rising star of the Democratic Party and the man leading the way for Harris County voters, making sure their votes count. Harris County Clerk Chris Hollins when we come back.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more All About the Law.
All about the law with Willie Powells.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powells. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powells.
The Law with Willie Powells.
Welcome back to All About the Law with Willie Powells. I'm your host, Willie Powells. Early voting ends tomorrow, October 30th, and by all accounts, this has been a record-breaking year in Harris County for voter turnout. The man being credited for much of the success in Harris County is Chris Hollins. Chris, welcome to All About the Law.
Hey, Willie, thanks so much for having me, brother.
Well, thanks. I'm so glad you're here. Early voting ends tomorrow, and we've seen record-breaking turnouts here in Harris County. Can you sum up some of the numbers for us?
Well, yes. What we've seen across the board from day one was truly astounding numbers of folks wanting to come out and have their voices heard at the polls. And so, day by day, the first 4 days of early voting had over 100,000 folks each come and vote in person. And tens of thousands of mail ballots are coming in as well. And so, the folks here in Harris County, they want to have their voices heard. And beyond that, they are reacting to us increasing voter access to unprecedented levels here in Harris County. We tripled the number of early voting centers. There were only about 40 back in 2016. Now there are over 120. We introduced drive-through voting for the first time in the history of Texas. And now we have 24-hour voting as well. And that's to give every single voter every single opportunity that they could possibly have to get out and claim their seat at the table by casting their vote and choosing the next generation of leadership for this country, for this state, and for this county.
That is outstanding. And the thing I love most about that is a lot of that was your innovation. That stuff, like you said, for the first time, that came from what you have done. In fact, you were appointed around June, right? After the resignation of the current clerk, due to health reasons. So you've just been here since June. Is that correct?
That's correct. Barely 4 months into this job.
Wow.
And now we're administering the most important and largest election of our lifetimes.
That's right.
But I have a fantastic team around me. Many with years and years of experience. But we've been able to put into practice very quickly a number of innovations that make voting easier, make voting safer,
Right.
and make voting more straightforward.
Right.
And we just want every single Harris County voter, regardless of who you're going to vote for, regardless of your background, what language you speak, or anything like that. If you're a registered voter here in Harris County, we want you to be able to vote. We want you to be able to do so safely and conveniently and with the peace of mind that your vote's going to be counted.
That's wonderful. And by the way, you are doing a marvelous job. Since day one, you have been just breaking history. I'm excited. I saw you on CNN and MSNBC. We're very, very, very proud of you here in Harris County. But let me ask you this. I know there's been some, voter suppression has been a big issue in Texas for quite some time. And I'm sure there was some, pushback, particularly maybe even from our governor, Abbott. What sort of issues and obstacles have you had to overcome in order to accomplish all this great success?
Yeah, well, Willie, voter suppression has existed in this country and in this state for years and years before you and I were even born, right? Or even thought of.
That's right.
And so, those efforts have not ceased. And I believe that, for the foreseeable future, there will always be those who want voting or the right to vote to be limited to a select few. But that's not how democracy works.
That's right.
Our democracy should not be a spectator sport. Our democracy should be each of us being engaged, being informed. And when it comes to seasons like this, having our voices heard at the polls. And so these efforts that we've seen from our governor, our attorney general, even the Texas Supreme Court, to confuse voters, to keep information out of the voters' hands, and now even to potentially try and disqualify voters, those should not be stood for. But the voters of Harris County are letting us know that they will not stand for it. They have gotten out to vote in record numbers. They are making sure that they are having their say at the polls this November. And we're excited to be protecting their right to vote and guaranteeing that their votes are going to be counted.
So I understand you're just our interim Harris County clerk. So I'm sad we may not get to see you much longer. But I would imagine you're going to go back to your law firm. But, since you've had so much success now doing this, is there a chance we might see your name on a ballot or somewhere, maybe in the future?
Well, Willie, it's been the privilege of a lifetime to come in and serve the 2.4 million registered voters here in Harris County. And I signed up for one job and one job only. And that's what we're focused on through November. As you mentioned, I do have a law firm. I won't call us competitors. I will call us colleagues in serving the people in Texas who need us most, the little guy. And so I'm going to return to my law firm thereafter. But, public service is something that's extremely important to me. My father, served for 34 years as a police officer.
That's right.
My sisters are teachers. My brothers-in-law are firefighters.
That's right.
And we're all doing our best to serve our community in the way that we know how. And so, again, this has been an honor. It has been a privilege. And I look forward to potential opportunities to serve in the future.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm glad to hear that. Because we certainly know that you know how to do it and do it very, 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 very well. So the other question that we keep getting is, do you believe that there's going to be after they're tallying up the votes, is this going to go days and weeks and months after the election? Or what is your take on that?
Well, I imagine you're referring to the presidential race in particular.
Sure.
And there's one date on the calendar that matters, and that's Inauguration Day in January. Mm-hmm. And so nothing's going to go past that day for sure. Right. But I'll talk to you about Texas and Harris County in particular. What we're seeing across the country is that there are some states, when it comes to mail ballots, that cannot begin to process those ballots until Election Day. And so you might see a number of days where those votes are still being processed and ultimately tallied and counted. Texas, in that regard, allows us to begin the process of going through those mail ballots much earlier. And in fact, here in Harris County, we started last week. And so as those ballots are coming in, we're processing them daily. And so we expect to report the results of early voting and of mail ballots right around 7 p.m. on election night. And of course, the remaining results of the election will come in over the course of election night, and we'll report those out as well. And so, it might be a late night, but we are going to make sure that the people of Harris County know the results of their election, by election night, November 3rd.
That's outstanding. And I know if there's anybody that can get the job done, it's you and your magnificent team. Thank you, sir. You've done a fine job, and we wish you well as you finish up your job. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show today, Chris.
Hey, thanks so much, Willie. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Well, early voting ends tomorrow, and then the big day is Tuesday, November 3rd. Make your voice heard and vote. Sue or sit your ass down is still ahead, and we have a great one for you. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more All About the Law.
All about the law with Willie Powells.
In this coming election, voters 50 plus will make the difference in elections across the state. The time is now to make a plan so you can vote how you choose in this coming election. Eligible voters can vote by mail-in ballot, and all registered voters can vote safely in person early or on voting day. Don't wait. Make a plan to vote today. For more voting information, head to aarp.org. I'm Tina Knowles-Lawson, and I'm a proud voter.
The Law with Willie Powells.
Welcome back to All About the Law with Willie Powells. I'm your host, Attorney Willie Powells. This is our brand new show, and I'm super excited. We'll talk about the law and everything in between. And I want to hear from you. I want your input. If you have an idea or topic for the show, a video to share, let me know about it. Hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at All About the Law Show, or drop me an email at allaboutthelaw@gmail.com. Also, if you ever need me for legal advice, or if you've been involved in an accident, head over to williepowellslawfirm.com or give me a call at 281-881-2457. Again, that's 281-881-2457. With this election season, we are seeing some real moving and shaking, especially in Stafford, Texas. Stafford is having to elect a new mayor to fill the shoes of longtime mayor Leonard Scarcella, the only mayor Stafford knew from 1969 until his death this year. He was 79 years old. One of those who've thrown their name in the hat is candidate Jim Narvios. Jim, welcome to All About the Law.
Willie, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, let me tell you, man, it's so good to see you as well, and you look sharp as always.
I'm just trying to be like you when I grow up.
Well, before we get into the nitty-gritty, you've done something very, very, very marvelous for the city of Stafford.
That's right.
You put a beautiful, beautiful painting up. Yeah. And, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, first and foremost, I have to disclaim that it is not a political advertisement, the wall. This actually was an inspiration that stimulated me to want to run for office.
Wow.
So this beautiful wall, right? The artist that worked with me, his name is Zeus De Leon. Oh. And so we created this wall in order to encourage people during this uncertain time of COVID-19. Sure. And plus, Stafford has never had a mural before.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's go ahead and hop on this and let's inspire some people. So the wall is called Stafford Stronger. So I always wanted to tell people, don't pray for things to be easier. Pray for the strength to overcome. Because we will come out stronger, right? At the end of the day, this will pass and the sun will shine again. And we'll be stronger. We'll be stronger for the position that will face us later on in life. We created this beautiful mural, and it's off of Main Street in Staffordshire, right across the street from the fire department. And it's dedicated specially for the people of Stafford.
Well, that's awesome. And it warms my heart to hear your story about painting that beautiful mural. So this is your first time ever running for mayor or doing anything like this?
Yeah, first time.
So, I mean, what was that feeling and throwing your hat in the ring and, jumping out there?
Once again, inspiring. It was one of those things. I'm a big believer in stretching. Allowing yourself to experience the things you need to experience in order to live life with no regret. And so at first, I was uncomfortable.
Sure.
So I had to reach out to my priest, speak to my spiritual counsel, talk to my wife. I asked a few people that I respected. And,
that's right.
they're like, you're fit for it.
That's wonderful.
You're fit for it. So I threw my name in the hat and got the ball rolling.
That's
and, man, it's been amazing. The experience, the campaign trail has just been so phenomenal. A lot of momentum. I met over 1,000 people.
I believe
knocked on their doors. Saw their beautiful, stepped back 8 feet. Imagine knocking on doors with a mask on. You got to be real creative. So you got to talk to them before they even end up at the door. You got to be like, "Hi, I'm running for mayor.
I'm friendly.
I'm candidate number 4." My signs are everywhere. You have to be creative. And during this time of COVID-19, it's definitely stretched my innovation. But that's what I'm all about. I'm all about new ideas, fresh energy, and innovation.
I love it. I love it. So, you've got a couple of senior, seasoned individuals that are going against you. And they're challenging you on your qualifications for this position.
Naturally.
I know what makes you, right? What makes you say, or what are your qualifications that just dispels all of that what they're saying?
Well, first and foremost, props. I admire everybody that's chosen to serve the community for a long time. They've done it. And I'm here, I'm new, I'm a fresh face, and obviously they're going to challenge me.
Sure.
That's what everything, when you enter the legal industry, adversarial.
Absolutely.
You're a musician, adversarial.
Absolutely.
But I would like to beg, the question. I would like to ask them, please take a look at my resume.
All right.
For 15 years, I've had my hand on the heartbeat of the community.
That's wonderful.
I've advocated for serious issues that were meaningful to me. Domestic violence, human trafficking, child abuse, alcoholism. For 11 years, I've communicated and served as a liaison between different communities and the government. Whenever they didn't feel comfortable approaching the government, I advocated for them so they could access city resources and city services.
That's good.
I've been involved with people. I've laughed with them. I've cried with them. I've celebrated with them. At the end of the day, I ask you, have you eaten their cultural meal with them? Have you danced their dance with them?
That's right.
Diversity is my middle name. I am Mr. International. I'm not afraid of a single culture that lives in the planet Earth. And that's what makes me qualified.
What's one of the first things you want to tackle?
Well, look.
Should you be elected mayor?
Everybody moves to Stafford for the zero property tax.
Right,
I know you want to move here.
You know it.
When I become mayor, Willie gonna move to Stafford.
I love Harris County too, so y'all don't get it twisted.
You're gonna buy 2 houses.
Yeah, that's right.
3 houses.
We're gonna get more.
Zero property tax. People want to have and maintain the things that they enjoy.
That's right.
So I tell them, okay, our budget is sort of suffering right now. But I tell people it's not because of COVID-19. They want to be quick to point the finger. COVID-19 created this. No, COVID-19 exposed the problem. It did not create the problem.
I believe that.
Look, so businesses is how we maintain our zero property tax. 2% of that accumulates, and that allows us to enjoy our zero property tax. But, we're dealing with COVID-19 and the economic, stifling our businesses. So you need a bold and unapologetic representation for state and federal funding in order for us to offset this problem.
I like that.
We expect to win. We expect to win.
Good.
And at the end of the day, I'm going to take the bar. I'm graduating in December.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. That's always a big congratulations.
I'm very excited for that. Going to take the bar.
Yeah.
And then sharpen my sword.
Yeah.
And whatever I got got to do to keep advocating for these people. Let's go.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim, you keep getting stronger. I can hear it in your
Yeah.
voice. I can see it in your face. You every day, man, you get out there and you keep getting stronger.
Amen.
I thank you so much for coming on the show today.
It's an honor, Willie.
Oh, it's such a pleasure.
Yeah.
And you're looking sharp.
Hey.
All right, keep representing, my man.
For sure.
All right, thank you. More All About the Law coming up. Stay with us.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more All About the Law.
All about the law with Willie Powells.
I'm attorney Willie Powells. Allow me to express myself with you. If you've been hurt or injured in a car or truck accident, give me a call and we'll get it fixed today.
If you would like to submit your video for Sue or Sit Your Ass Down, just head over to our Instagram page at All About the Law Show and click on the link in the bio.
The law with Willie Powells.
We're back with All About the Law, and I'm your host, Willie Powells. So, as you know, I've been practicing personal injury law for quite some time here in Houston. You know, I handle car accidents, 18-wheelers, motorcycle, pretty much anything that has to do with motor vehicles, we handle, right? Wrongful death, you name it. And we've done quite a good job for our clients over the years. And, I wanted to bring on a client, one of my very favorites. This is my client who was involved in a horrible, horrific drunk driving accident. Please welcome Ashleigh Felder.
Hello.
Hey, Ashleigh, how you doing?
I'm doing so blessed.
Wow, you look wonderful
Thank
today.
you so much. I'm
as
so glad
always.
to be here.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yes.
Well, outstanding. A few years ago when you called me, it wasn't going so well, was it?
Oh, it was not.
Yeah.
It was not.
In fact, there was a horrible drunk driving accident you called me about. Wasn't that it?
Yes.
Yeah? Well, tell us a little bit. How did that go?
Oh, it was going terrible.
Yeah.
I was hit by a drunk driver from behind.
Yeah.
And it was tragic.
Yeah.
I was doing it all on my own.
Yeah.
I really needed some good counseling.
Right. Well, when you were doing it on your own, what were some of the difficulties you were finding? Was it pretty difficult to try to?
Oh, yes.
You lose your car, you got work, there's so many issues, right?
You're so overwhelmed. There's just so many things that need to be done while you're hurting.
Yeah.
And, and you want to find honest counseling.
You were hurt really bad.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right. So I remember there was like a miscarriage, right?
Oh, yes. It was, and in Texas, it wasn't able to be tried. But with your counseling, I mean, you just did wonders.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, what did you find when you were trying to do it on your own or without much assistance? How were we able to help you get this resolved?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, you took care of the legalities. There was just so much communication, so much honesty. I mean, it couldn't have been done without you guys.
Wow.
And I feel like I found the best counseling.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. We always try to make our clients feel comfortable. Again, it's just so much going on in your mind. It's so much to deal with. And that's one of the things I think we really offer to our clients is it takes your mind off of all the other stuff so you can just kind of focus on feeling better, right?
Yes,
huh?
yes.
Well, I mean, what advice would you give to anybody else that's been involved in anything like what you were involved in?
Seek counseling immediately.
Yeah.
And I would not suggest anyone besides Willie Powells.
Oh, wonderful. That's why I love you. Oh, you're the absolute best. I'm so excited. And God has blessed us with beautiful clients. And I'm so glad that you thought about me. You gave us that opportunity to help. It's truly my heart to help. And I hope that, and I'm glad
I'm
able to work. We got a little bit of money in your pocket too, right?
Yes,
we don't want to forget about that. We're going to
Yes.
make sure, but it's so important. Thank you so much for coming on the show, for thinking about me, and we're happy to help. Tell your friends and family we're there for them as well.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. And with that, now it's time for us to move on to my absolute favorite segment. Sue or sit your ass down. That's right, yo is the word I'm using.
If you would like to submit your video for sue or sit your ass down, just head over to our Instagram page at All About the Law Show and click on the link in the bio.
This is where viewers send in videos to ask my legal opinion on whether they have a case or they should sit their ass down. Today we have a video from Hope. Let's take a look. Roll the tape.
Attorney Powells, I went to Federal Express. I'm angry with them right now. I went to them and wanted to mail brisket and bluebell ice cream. My husband makes the best brisket in the world, and my sister-in-law wanted me to mail her some. The FedEx manager saw me packaging everything up to mail it off to Illinois, and did not tell, and encouraged me to get the insurance, and did not tell me that there was a policy that says that I would not get my money back if something were to go wrong. Should I sue them or should I sit down somewhere?
Wow, 2 in a row, folks. Usually I'm telling people to sit their ass down, but in this case, Hope might actually have something going on here with FedEx. But before I would say, definitely you should sue, I would say, let me look at that a little bit closer. Because it's a little fishy about the whole thing about they're giving you insurance and then when you make the claim, they don't honor it. I wonder if there's some policy language or something down there in the fine written lines or whatever that maybe were overlooked. So I would say it's not that you don't have a case. It sounds like you may want a case. You may have a case, but more importantly, we want to make sure that brisket is delivered in time for the holidays. We don't want to miss that for sure. So I would say before considering suing, let me get a little bit of a closer look at that one. And, maybe you don't have to sit down. Maybe you can stand up and sue. So give me a call, send some of that paperwork over to me, and let's get a closer review of that one. And before we get out of here, I just want to say once more that tomorrow is the end of early voting. November 3rd is the day you make your voice heard. Please vote. So many of our ancestors died for us to have this right. It's not something I take for granted, and I hope you won't either. I want to leave everyone with this final thought. I'm a personal injury lawyer, but I want you to know that we also care about our community. We have partnered up with the Houston Food Bank, and we have partnered up with Habitat for Humanity. COVID has been devastating across this country, and we are rapidly approaching the holiday season. How dreadful would it be if you were kicked out of your house during this COVID-19, right? Or if you don't have enough food for the holidays. Children, we all like to sit around, the table for Thanksgiving. So please understand, by supporting this show, by watching this show, by participating in this show, you're helping to make a big difference in our community's lives. And with having said that, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching All About the Law with Willie Powells, and we'll see you next time.